He's going all the way. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Texas Tech takes home the victory.
Welcome to the Broadway Shuffle with Conrad and Clayton. I am Brennan. We are missing Zyler tonight. Got a really bad flu going for Z, so he is sitting out this one. So everyone wish Z well and a quick recovery. We are going to go through the Kansas game. We've got our predictions, our preview for what the Jayhawks will bring to Lubbock Saturday night at 6:30. We're going to go through our top 25, release our Broadway Shuffle top 25. I won't forget this time, guys, I promise. And then I wanted to start the episode, though, with the logo. That's the first word of this episode is logo. I was surprised. The release was crazy. It was a ton of fun. Great job by the tech marketing team. But there was some controversy behind this. And some people didn't really like it as much. Some people loved it. So, Conrad, I'll go to you first, man. What were your thoughts on the logo launch? And how much do you enjoy going back to the classic double T?
Yeah, I will say this for the record, for the public. I have always loved the classic double T. I mean, I even remember some of the throwback uniforms in 2018. I think we wore them against Oklahoma State. They were just, it was the block lettering. It was the old school double T. It was the stars on the helmet, the white, red, white, I think it was. I just love the old school double T. I've always been partial to it. Clayton and I are both marketing majors from the greatest university in the earth, or on the earth, Texas Tech University. We both approve of the updated modernization of the double T. I think it's recognizable. I think it's iconic. I think it's more, there's less going on. It's crisp, it's clean. I think it'll look really good on our uniforms going forward. And I'm glad we returned to the classic. Clayton, thoughts? Would you share the expert marketing opinion that we learned at the Rawls College of Business about how great this new logo is?
I'm definitely on board with the change, but I think I'm more on the fence than I expected myself to be. Like, I'll just be honest. I don't know if the old school looks as good on the field as the beveled double T whenever I saw the thing, but I think it looks better on the basketball court, and it for sure looks better on uniforms. So I like the old school, which is now the new, better overall, but I think seeing it on the field was like a little bit. And then also the updated like horse, the masked rider with the double T, I wish they kept the outline black instead of white, but those are my only two complaints. Other than that, I love it. I think the uniforms are going to be sick. I feel like basketball was kind of already doing that,
yeah,
like
they
only
were.
Old school, so I'm excited for football to get on board with that as well.
Yeah, does this mean brand new jerseys across the board next year? Is it completely new coming out 2026?
I feel like the football uniforms might stay the same and just update the helmet because they don't use the double T on the actual jerseys.
Yeah, or do they use it on the pants? On the, I think it's the three stripes,
maybe.
And then on one side, or maybe I don't know what it is. Brendan, I do know what is going to have to change. You're going to need to update your background. You're going to need to switch out that double T for a new one. But I'm not mad at it.
How long
it's my old background.
Until that double T becomes like the cool thing to have, like until
this will be worth
like
this will be worth like millions in 50 years, man. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, for our listeners that have been with us for a long time, you guys probably remember my old background. I had a old school double T that lit up behind it. It's actually right over there. I couldn't put it behind me, but again, that's just to show you I've always been a fan of it. I will say, I think it's going to play. It'll be interesting to see how the bevel double T is still incorporated with the new classic one. But even when we had the tour of the football facility a few weeks ago, you saw all of the new now, but old school double T's already incorporated. And so it's a good thing to see. I'm all for it. I can't wait for all the Adidas gear with the new double T, new old double T on it. I think it's going to be good. And I think it is recognizable. And I'm excited to see what that looks like for Texas Tech athletics in the future as we kind of enter into a golden era, I think, of Texas Tech athletics.
Yeah, golden era. That's what it looks like. Well, let us know your thoughts and comments, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, Texas Tech Plus, or YouTube. Let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from all of the shufflers out there as well. But you mentioned it, Conrad, golden era of Texas Tech athletics. Basketball was great last year. You've got softball, and now you've got football. 5-0, coming back to the Jones after a 3 to 4 week layoff there with so many home games on the front end. You get Kansas, 6:30, Fox, primetime game. Texas Tech is now getting a lot of national attention, ranked 9th in the AP poll. We'll show you here a little bit where they're ranked in the Broadway Shuffle poll. But this is an exciting time, man. You got the homecoming game, the new black jerseys, the throwback jerseys that look awesome. Clayton, I'll go to you first, man. Conrad and I are going to be on site there at the Jones Saturday night. So we'll go to you. Expectations for Kansas. What do we need to know about the Jayhawks? And do you expect Tech to have much of a problem Saturday night?
Yeah, I think I'm excited to see the environment. It should be the best atmosphere that we've had at a home game in a long time. I think Jalen Daniels is definitely the best quarterback you faced, which is crazy for me to say that because I'm probably
that's
the
a lot
biggest
coming from
Daniels
you.
hater. Yes, I do have to admit he's been a lot better this year. Like I've never been on the Jalen Daniels train, but this year he is legitimately good QB. So I think he will test your defense. Although I don't know if I'm ready to say that they're a better offense than like Utah. I know that I'm probably higher on Dampier than the rest of this podcast still, but he's definitely a better QB than Dampier. So I think he can test your secondary more downfield. So that'll be interesting to see how we hold up. But I think their offensive line has some weak spots that can definitely be exploited. So I'll be looking for that for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with Jalen Daniels. You mentioned he has 16 touchdowns this year to 2 interceptions. So he's definitely not turning the ball over as much. Still takes a ton of risk. This guy's a big game hunter. He leads the Power 4 actually with over 12 yards a throw. So they look to push the ball down the field a lot. So expect Kansas to do that. Le'Shawn Williams is one of their leading rushers. Daniels is actually second. So not only is he moving the ball through the air, he's actually got over 250 yards rushing as well. So Jalen Daniels, the Kansas team kind of runs through them. If you haven't watched much of them this year at all, they did lose to Mizzou in a tight game at Missouri. They were up big early, scored 21 on them fast. And then they lost to Cincinnati as well in a tight game. And Cincinnati looks pretty good coming off the win at Iowa State. So this Kansas team has been competitive. They're 4-2. This is not necessarily some pushover team walking in with some potential playmakers. So, Conrad, knowing that on a high level about the Jayhawks, you expect Texas Tech's defense still to come out, find a way just to shut down Jalen Daniels. Tech's defense has given us a lot of reason for confidence. It's going to be hard to doubt them and their ability to stop Jalen Daniels on Saturday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you said it, Jalen Daniels is not a bad quarterback at all. I mean, he's played 16-2, touchdown to interception ratio. I will say I'm not particularly worried about this defense. I mean, we're healthy. I mean, minus Dingle, at least from what I saw. Obviously, that injury happened soon. I don't think you're going to see anything different than what you've seen so far through these first 5 games from the Texas Tech defense on Saturday night in Lubbock. I think it's going to be the same old story. I think you're going to see these guys making plays. I think you're going to see J-Rod being the player he is. I think you're going to see David and Romello. I don't really think that with what we were able to do to Utah's offensive line, the best offensive line we're going to face all year, and now having Kansas come in at home at night, all the things happening there, I just think it'll be more of the same. I think it'll be the same story. And I think Jalen Daniels is a good quarterback. I think they do have playmakers, but this defense is just too good. I really am not scared at all. Do you guys agree, disagree? Do you think that there's any way we could potentially see a different story from this defense on Saturday night? I mean, any way? Like, is there any way possible? I mean, seriously.
Clayton, is there what's the worst thing you could think of for Texas Tech to not stop Jalen Daniels?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I see a single team scoring like more than like 28 on this defense all year. I think Kansas could potentially be the team that like actually gets into the 20s just because they've got a receiver who's super fast and then Daniels can push the ball downfield. So I could see them having like a few big plays. But I still don't think that like, I don't know, even in a shootout, like I would feel comfortable in our offense, not to get to their defense, but I think their defense is pretty bad towards the bottom of the opponents will play. But I don't know. Like I would be surprised if we held them to 11 like we have in the first 2 conference games. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think Dampier, we were talking about him going in, and none of us were really extremely confident in his passing ability. He was more so on the RPO run game. We were able to shut that down, and he did not look like an effective passer at all against Texas Tech, where Jalen Daniels comes in. We kind of know what he brings to the table as a passer and as a dynamic player.
He's proven.
And he's proven, exactly. And so I do think that And he's old. This is what, his 6th year in college football. I know that he's battled some injuries and he hasn't really been consistent, but he's not necessarily a guy that's going to be overly affected by a crazy environment that will be the Jones on Saturday night. So I think for Tech, it's can you stop him early? Because even in Mizzou, that was like the border war. It was back, big rivalry game, and Kansas came out hot. I mean, like I said, they scored 3 touchdowns pretty quickly. They ended up losing, but the offense came out and was really effective. And Mizzou's an undefeated team. And so it's not like that was over someone that's not very good. So I do think that it's important for Texas Tech to stop big plays, stop them early, get them out of a rhythm in the first quarter, build a lead early, because you just don't want to give a guy like this confidence that he could go into the second half within striking distance to make a big play. And I do think that Zyler's referenced this. Texas Tech, there's been some penalties. You know, the Utah, they threw a big pass. It got taken back because of a penalty against Utah. But Tech has a tendency to let some people slip by in the secondary, though they have been pretty dominant there as well. In fact, they are actually leading. I saw this today. They have the best coverage grade in America, which essentially means that Texas Tech does not give up big plays. So Kansas likes to try to push the ball. Texas Tech doesn't allow teams to push the ball. Where does the rubber meet the road there, Conrad? I don't know, but I have a lot of confidence in this defense. They've given us no reason at all to make us feel like they're going to get burned at home.
Yeah, and I think the more you play as the season goes on, you stay healthy, you keep your guys fresh, you're not going to see anything different really from this defense. I mean, kudos to Kansas for obviously having some players like we mentioned, but you should believe as a Red Raider fan that you're going to dominate this game on the defensive side of the ball. Until they give me a reason to think otherwise, that's what I'm going to believe every single game. I don't know that I mean, there are ways in this game that you could see them maybe gashing you for a play or two. I mean, no defense is perfect, right? But at the same time, you got to trust these guys. I think that that David and Romello and Lee and Skyler are just going to absolutely decimate this Kansas defensive line or offensive line. It's going to be great to watch. And again, I think you should have full confidence in that. But kind of switching gears a little bit, we've talked about the defense. We talked about Jalen Daniels. Clayton, what do you expect from the offense to do to this Kansas defense? I mean, do you think is 34 points? You know, if you had to take the over under, I know we'll get to those. This is just off the dome right now, but if you had to think, okay, is Texas Tech going to score more or less than 34 points against this Kansas defense at home on Saturday night? What would you say for the Red Raider offense?
Yeah, I think we've got a good shot at getting into the 40s. This defense is not good. I mean, the Missouri game after they got up 21-7, which if I remember correctly was like kind of fluky. I feel like they like blocked a punt or something. But after that, Missouri did pretty much whatever they wanted. Cincinnati did pretty much whatever they wanted. Those are the only 2 games I've watched of Kansas, but I know that their linebackers are not very good. I don't expect the defense to put up much of a resistance. And honestly, with how we moved the ball against Houston, who's a good defense, I know we had the red zone, issues. But if you just do that again, I don't foresee them stopping you in the red zone as much as Houston did. I would be surprised if they held us under like 38 points. I think we'll get to 40 at least.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I think that they're not the biggest defensive line either. And so I would love to see Texas Tech run the ball effectively well again, like they did last week. Dickey almost hit 100 yards. Jacoby did hit over 100 yards. And so I think if Texas Tech can run the ball well, just give Barron a clean pocket like they've done most of the season, I don't see Texas Tech having a problem scoring on Kansas at all. So yeah, it's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait to be there. It's going to be a ton of fun. And I think it's important for us to say, because we are getting so excited, we're drinking the Kool-Aid, Tech's 5-0. It is important to recognize that you still have to play a game and things happen. And a team like Kansas has players that can beat you. So it's important to take every opponent seriously. We hear Joey talk about it all the time. A nameless opponent, a faceless opponent. What's next? It's 1-0 each week. So if the guys come out with that mindset, I don't think they'll have a problem. One thing I am anxious to see is, are they looking ahead? Because Arizona State awaits the next Saturday, 3:00 in Tempe. Clayton's going to be there. We've got the Broadway Shuffle traveling all over for Texas Tech games this year. It's awesome. But, it's like, are you coming out thinking, okay, we've got the big guys next week. We've got the defending champions. We've got the road game if we beat ASU. And so I think we'll really see the mentality of this team and how they prepare and beat. Because there's no reason, if you come out 100%, you should lose to Kansas.
Yeah, and I think too, thinking about something also Joey said that I think is worth noting, and even us having a discussion about is, what he said for the fans. It's McGuire's message was, be absolutely loud when this defense walks out on the field to make it as difficult of an environment as possible. Because he mentioned it, even in Salt Lake, that when the Utah defense walked out, how loud it was, and Texas Tech offense came out. And so if we could do that, fans, if you're going to be there, be as loud as possible. I know Brennan and I we'll use our measly podcast voices to try and be as loud as we possibly can. But I think that's something too. Not to borrow a term from some of our friends down south, but I mean, if you actually can have a 12th man that actually does impact the game, why would you not want that? And so be loud if you're going to be there. But again, at the same time, I don't think that you're going to see a team come out flat, because I trust this coaching staff, maybe an unhealthy amount. I just think they're really good at what they do, and I feel like they're gonna have this team prepared. I mean, if you watch Joey's presser on Monday, you saw how, I don't know if irritated was the right word, but just how intense he is about, hey man, we got to be better with these penalties. I mean, we got to be better at this. And it's like, man, you're 5-0, you're ranked 9th in the country. Your defense is, fantastic. Your offense, I think, is number 1 in total offense right now. I mean, this team's legit. And you've got a head coach like that. I mean, it kind of gave me some Nick Saban vibes of just never being satisfied. And I think that's what you want out of your head coach. And so I fully trust. I mean, I don't think that penalties will be an issue this game. I don't think red zone execution will be an issue this game, because I know that if Joey has anything to say about it, and obviously he does, this will be a time that you've put in the work for that this week to make sure red zone execution and penalties are to a minimum. And I think it's going to work out really well on Saturday night. So did y'all hear that comment about being loud and when the team walks out on the field?
Go ahead, Clay.
Yeah, I did. He also said that this was the biggest game that he's coached in at Texas Tech, which I thought was interesting. I don't know if I would personally agree with that, but I do understand from the standpoint that, like, you're now in the top 10 and it's time to, like, validate that ranking. So I appreciate that he's taking that mindset, because I feel like the team takes on the mindset of the coach. So Brennan, to your point of, like, looking ahead, if the coach is saying that this is the biggest game that he's coached since he's been here, it would be surprising if the team didn't show up with that mentality as well. And I feel like Joey wants to, because we talked about, like, in the big games, Tech has not fared well recently. Most of the time that is just straight up due to a talent, deficit, because our biggest games are against, UT or OU or whoever it is. And now we are like the cream of the crop. But that hasn't really necessarily been kind to you. So I feel like he understands that, and he, like, wants to remedy that this time. So, I would expect the team to come out pretty hot, especially with the environment that Conrad's talking about. But yeah, Brennan, I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's fair for Joey to feel irritable, because this team is held to a higher standard. I mean, this is not, hey, we're hoping to potentially compete in the Big 12. This is, we are now the favorite to win the Big 12. We need to play like the best team in the conference, and the best team in the conference, they limit penalties. They don't turn the ball over, and fans show up to the games. And not that Texas Tech fans, I mean, we were at the Oregon State game, and I thought that environment prior to the rain delay was awesome. It was crazy at 2:30. And so it's nothing against the fans that are going. I just think he's saying, like, hey, this is an opportunity that Texas Tech, we're actually here on the map for the first time in really 17 years at home. Because when you were 7-0 that year, you went to Oklahoma and lost in Norman, then came home and got demolished by Oklahoma State. I was actually at that game. And so
that's in the past. Look to the future, Brendan. Don't talk about the past like that.
But, it's just, I think what he's saying by that is we're ranked 9th, top 10 at home for the first time in a very long time. Like, show us that you care. And we do care. I mean, this is one of the most rabid fan bases, I think, in the country. When you're doing well, we've seen what basketball looks like. We've been in those environments. And I think Joey's like, hey, this is finally football time. I think maybe he's just a little anxious and nervous and wants to see it for himself. And he's excited that he finally gets in the football team, gets this opportunity, because softball's had it, basketball's had it, baseball, not recently, but has had it. So there's been this is finally football's time. And I think we recognize that.
That is a great point. And I am excited to see, like, because I feel like people have forgotten how tough a place to play the Jones is from, like, when Leach was here. I remember Bob Stoops said that it was the toughest place to play in the Big 12 at the time. And I feel like the decade of just like mediocrity has kind of killed that narrative. And I totally understand, because I've been at games where, it's like 40% full for the second half and it's quiet. But this crowd hasn't seen a team this good since, at least 2013, further back than that probably. But you've seen how it is for basketball, to your point. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Connor, what were you about to say?
Yeah, I just think that this is going to be, it's all eyes on Texas Tech, right? I mean, it's been that way all offseason, but now, especially with everything having come together the way it has, starting 5-0, ranked 9th, I think everyone, obviously in Lubbock, is aware of how good this team is. The country is aware of this team. Brennan's favorite podcaster, analyst, whatever title you want to give, Joel Klatt, is obviously very aware of this team.
He was on a show today, Conrad, hyping up Tech again.
I wonder, do you think he likes the new decal that's going to be on the helmet, or do you think it's just not good enough for him? You'll ask. Okay, thank you.
I'll ask him.
But I do think, this is going to be, it's going to be all eyes on Texas Tech. And the nation's going to be watched on Saturday night. I just want us to come out and play to the level we can. And I do think that it's telling. I think the cheapest, I looked earlier today, the cheapest ticket on SeatGeek, I think it was $180, and I can't even. I think that was the cheapest ticket to get into this game at this point. It's like, oh my goodness! And I don't know if you'll have students camping out, but I do think you'll have students, probably quite a few students, turned away. This is going to be electric on Saturday night, and it's going to be really fun to be there and witness what happens on the field. Because, and I will say at the same time, being anxious a little bit, nervous about this kind of pressure. I'd be asking some questions if there wasn't some of that anxiety, there wasn't some of that nervousness. It just shows being nervous and anxious about something like this doesn't communicate anything negative to me. It just shows you care. And again, I'm not saying that Joey was necessarily that way in his press conference, but I'm sure there's some nerves from coaches, from players, because this is the biggest moment you've had in 12 years. It just, that's what it is. And so I want people to care. I want there to be nerves. I want there to be anxiety. And then I want them to go out there and prove it on the field, which I know they will.
Don't you guys feel that every time we record, just like the biggest moment in your life, and it's right there in front of you, the nerves, the anxiety? I get it. Conrad, you're calm, cool, and collected for podcast game day, I guess.
Hey, we're professionals at this point, basically. It's just, it's second nature to us.
Don't listen to that. So, don't let it get to his head. No. Speaking of this, Conrad, this is your first time, man. You weren't a Tech fan when Tech was in the top 10 12 years ago. So this is your first time getting to experience this.
Yeah, it was.
I thought you really became a fan when you got to the campus.
No. I thought, well, because I enjoyed watching A&M with Johnny and then seeing Cliff go to Tech, that was really cool to see. And so at that time was when I started. I was a fan at that point, but I kind of knew that that's where I was going to go. And so, but I went all in when I got to the campus. But yeah, some of us are slower to come to the light than others. But I found my way there eventually.
Here you are, and we're glad to have you, man. We're glad.
And hey, we're glad to have you. I'm glad to have you too.
Thanks,
I will say this. If you're here and you have not subscribed yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But also, I want to point something out. You probably have noticed this. Brennan's got a little polo on.
Can you see it?
Pretty nice, Brennan. Where did you get that?
Is it in the camera?
It should be. It
should be. If it isn't, it says the Broadway Shuffle on it. Shoot, and it's got the horse logo, our updated logo for the podcast. And yeah, Clayton, you're the mastermind behind the merchandise. It's here. This is a launch that we were going to subtly kind of drop. We've hinted at it the last couple months, but it is here. The store is open. So what do we got in the store and what's coming out as well?
Yes, the store is here finally. Right now we have the polo that Brennan is wearing in white and black. We have a t-shirt coming that should be in there the next few days, and then we'll have hats eventually. So I guess we'll put the link in our bios. If you want to access that, take a look, purchase anything, fund our dream. I don't know.
Our
food. Put food on the table for us.
I haven't eaten in a week. But it's fine.
It's
man.
in the link in the description below too.
Yeah,
so it'll be there going forward.
We can't wait, man. It's a ton of fun. Fits great. Adidas athletic fit. I love it. It's awesome. I was gonna wear it to the game on Saturday, and Conrad was like, "Hey, you're a knucklehead. It's a blackout." And I'm like, "Yeah." Probably, I'll fine. I won't wear it.
You could stick out like a sore thumb if you
I'll
wanted to.
I'll wear it to the BYU game. So, anyways, well, let's define success real quick. Then we'll get to our over-unders. And Conrad mentioned it. If you're a fan of the show, whether on Spotify, Apple, and then listen on Texas Tech Plus as well, or YouTube, it really does help us grow the show. The more people that subscribe, the more it pushes to other Texas Tech fans as well. So it really does help more than you know. And we appreciate all of the shufflers who listen to our show every week. We are so thankful for the family that we have created here at the Broadway Shuffle. So, okay, let's define success for Texas Tech. Conrad, you alluded to the penalties. What do you want to see on Saturday to define success for the Red Raiders?
I'm not going to expect perfection when it comes to penalties. I mean, things happen, right? You get, you maybe get some referees that are not as keyed in as maybe they should be, and you get a loose flag here or there. So I'm not going to expect perfection, but what I will say is I'd like to see less than 7 penalties. I'd like to see them, I don't want pre-snap penalties.
High bar
like, I don't,
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. Improvement takes time, okay, but I don't want to see pre-snap penalties. That'd be the big thing for me. I mean, I don't know what the number is false starts, but it's been, you've had false starts, and so I'd like to see that cleaned up. Success as well would be limit turnovers. That's obviously that's low hanging fruit, but I want to see I don't want to see any turnovers. 0 turnovers would be amazing, and then I think I want to see you win by 17 plus. I think that's the line right now, as we're recording this on Wednesday night, dropping Thursday morning, is 14.5. Texas Tech is favored. I want to see us by 17 or more. If you win by 24 or more, the Kool-Aid, the Jayhawk juice is going to be flowing to an unhealthy level on Monday's episode. But the Jayhawk juice, yeah, that's our Kool-Aid flavor of the week. That just came to me. That's just how it happens sometimes.
What's the Jayhawk? It's got some blue in it, some red. Is it like American color? What's the Jayhawk juice look like?
Yeah, I'll leave that up to your imagination. It can look however you get it at the concession stands on Saturday at Jones AT&T Stadium. Jayhawk juice,
dude. Okay, what if we had what if the Broadway Shuffle had a little stand in the Jones just selling Kool-Aid juice all year? That would be really funny. And
that'd be hilarious,
but it would be really funny. I like the idea of 7 penalties or less. I mean, I think it'd be great. Clayton mentioned it. I'd like to see less than 4. I'd like a really clean game at home where snap count shouldn't be a problem. False start penalties should not be as big a deal as they are on the road. I mentioned it earlier, Clay. I just come out early and punch them in the mouth. Like, don't give Kansas hope that they're in the game in the second half. I think get the stops early, score. Just have the offense continue to make big plays early on, get the crowd going fast. Remember the Colorado game last year? You ultimately didn't win, but early on, we were just like going crazy. You're up fast, you're sacking Shedeur Sanders. When the Jones gets going early, it gets electric, and you want to get that. So I think just punch them in the mouth early and don't let them hang around would be my definition of success, along with obviously a W.
Agreed. Yeah, I think I would echo everything that y'all said about the penalties. I think being at home should help with that. Honestly, I just want to see more of the same. I mean, this is another team that you're more talented than. You should not have a problem with this team, and I want to see, the defense continue to eat. I think their left tackle, I think his name's Calvin Clements, probably the worst tackle on your schedule. So I think Bailey and Romello should feast off of him. And yeah, I just want to see more status quo, winning by, I would love to see 24 plus. I can't remember what my score prediction is. I don't know if I'm predicting that, but I do predict.
Just wait.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I don't foresee this game being close in the fourth quarter. So yeah, I guess that would be my definition of success.
I like it. Okay, well, let's get to over-under debates for Texas Tech. Jacoby Williams, I mentioned it earlier. He had 100 yards rushing. Will Jacoby Williams hit over 100 yards for the second straight game?
Yes.
Over. But what? Maybe does Cameron Dickey? Does he pass him?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I see a 65, 70-yard touchdown run from Jacoby. I think. Okay. I think that's going to be here. So
I think Jacoby gets over 100 all-purpose yards, but I don't know about rushing. I think Dickey actually gets more rushing yards this game because I think he'll get the rock more in the second half once we have the lead.
I like it. That's elite ball knowledge right there. Build the lead, give it to Dickey. All right, let's go a little more big picture. 10.5 total wins for Texas Tech in 2025.
This is so easy. I'm going over. I would go over if this was just regular season. But I think we get to Arlington. I think that's another opportunity for a win. You win that, you got another opportunity in the playoffs. I'd go over 10.5. I think this should be set at like 11.5 right now.
Okay.
Maybe I'm drinking too much Jayhawk
No,
juice.
all right. Let's reset it then. let's reset it. Over under 11.5 total wins.
I'll still go over at 11.5.
I think we get 12. The juice, babe. That Jayhawk juice is flowing where Clayton's
But 11.5 is close. Like that's where I'd have to think about it. Yeah.
Conrad?
Do you even have to ask?
I don't. You know, you predicted 16-0 in June.
Yeah, Texas Tech is going to win the national championship, baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, okay, it's going to be. I think it'll be over. It'll be.
Yeah,
dude. It's so hard again because we're just, quite frankly, we're not used to this. But that doesn't mean we can't have it. Why not us? Why not us?
Why not us, baby?
There was a point where certain schools, private schools that we will not name on this episode were, worse than we've ever been. And then that school won a Big 12 championship, multiple Big 12 championships. It's like, why not us? Why not us? So it's, I think it'll happen. I think we'll get over 11.5 for sure.
Yeah, I think I talked about this last week, but if you look at the schedule and we talk about looking ahead and what's next, well, we as podcasters, we like to look way ahead. We like to predict and project.
And analysts. Don't discredit us.
Analyst, whatever you want to call us. You win this game, and then you think about your other games you've got left with Oklahoma State, and no disrespect, but Oklahoma State, UCF, West Virginia, K-State hasn't looked the part this year. And so you're starting to look, every win you get, you inch closer to based off who's left. And so I just think that 11.5 is totally reasonable for Texas Tech football this year. Gosh, man, could you imagine 11 wins? Hasn't happened since I was 12. It would be awesome. I can't wait.
May shed a tear if I'm fully expecting to be in Arlington on December 6th. And again, I hope the team, if there are any players who listen to this, don't worry about Arlington, just worry about Kansas. Don't worry about anything except for Kansas. But I will say I may shed a tear or two if I'm in Arlington on December 6th watching Texas Tech play.
And we'll make sure
if we leave Tempe, if we leave Tempe undefeated, I think it would take like a shocking development of events to not be in Arlington.
I agree. I totally agree. I completely
You'd have to lose 2 games, and then you'd still have the tiebreaker over ASU and Utah. So it'd have to be a team that you didn't play, or 2 teams.
Yeah,
it would just be.
So
Iowa State's got a loss. TCU's got a loss. Baylor's got a loss. So Cincinnati's got a loss. So Cincinnati doesn't have a loss yet, but they will.
Oh yeah, so you're right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. Texas Tech makes the Big 12 championship. Is AT&T Stadium sold out?
Depends on who we're playing, I think. Because
how many Red Raiders do you think would get?
Half.
Yeah, I mean, ticket-wise, like Tech, the way that's allocated, we were there last year and saw how Arizona State, Iowa State was. Like half of the sideline is allocated. So if it's like Cincinnati, do I think that side's going to sell out? No.
So if we play TCU, it would be electric.
TCU'd be close.
They couldn't fill that. They couldn't fill that side of the stadium.
They can't even
we know that. We know that.
Yeah. Okay, well, before we get to our Texas Tech predictions, let's go Big 12 National. I did say last week that I will keep record of the picks from here on out so you guys know who really knows ball. And no shocker here in the Broadway Shuffle, but Zyler Buchanan went 5-1 last week. We miss Z, man. He's down bad. Trust me, he was going to try. He was drinking liquids, probably doing IV shots, doing everything he could to be on the show. And last minute, he said, guys, I just can't. So, Z, we miss you, but he went 5-1 last week. Clayton and Conrad went 4-2. I went 3-3. So there's where we're at. We'll keep track the rest of the season. But kudos to Z, man. No shock, man. That guy knows ball like no other.
Well, and don't be surprised. You'll see him on Saturday at Jones AT&T Stadium. He'll be there no matter what. No matter what. He will be there.
Maybe don't go near him if you see him. Give him some space. We'll see.
Just blow him a kiss or something like that.
Yeah,
Give him a guns up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He'd appreciate it. I know that.
Yeah, and if you see us, come say hi as well. We'd love to say hello. So, all right, Texas OU, Red River, Conrad's favorite game. First game we're gonna pick here. I'm gonna go OU. Mateer rumored to potentially be back. I don't think it'll matter after what I've seen from Texas's O-line and just really their entire offense. It's almost flabbergasting compared to how much hype they had coming in. I think OU's defense is going to stop Texas. I'm going 27-17 OU.
This actually pains me to say I can't believe I'm going to do it, but I'm going to take Texas just because they have to have it. And I feel like Red River doesn't really follow the rest of the season sometimes. Like it's completely random. And I think obviously Texas has not looked good in the two good teams that they played, but I feel like they find a way to get it done. And I'm still a little concerned about Mateer's injury, even if he does play. Like, what is he able to do? So I'll take Texas in like a really ugly, like 17-14 or something like that.
Yeah, that's ugly. OU Texas 17-14. That's gonna be ugly. All right, Conrad, who do you like?
Yeah, this is hard for me because there's, I publicly changed my tune on Arch Manning last week. I apologize to everyone for claiming that he was a generational prospect. I don't believe that anymore, just for the record. But I do think he beats OU this week. I think Texas beats OU. I think that they finally get it right. I mean, talent on the offensive side of the ball for Texas, minus the offensive line, is not an issue. Arch still has talent. He just hasn't figured it out. That receiving room, Ryan Wingo leading the pack there. The tight end injuries from, I think he's a transfer from somewhere. I don't know. I don't know Texas football. I just know names sometimes. I think they get it figured out. I think they'll win 24-14. I'm just not confident because that Texas defense does have talent as well. I mean, talent's never the issue for Texas. Just can they put it together? But I think they need it more. I think they come out and find a way to win. But I would not be shocked if OU won. That defense for OU is, it's really good. It's still worse than Texas Tech, but it's still really, really good.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm excited to not watch that. I'll be too busy driving to Lubbock. So, all right, Alabama, Missouri. Another big game in the SEC. Mizzou undefeated. We talked about them briefly earlier, have knocked off the Jayhawks. So we'll see if that makes Mizzou look good, or we'll see what Texas Tech does with a relative opponent. But I've got Bama here coming off a big win against Vanderbilt at home. Ty Simpson's looking the part for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Even though it's on the road, I'm gonna lean Bama.
I'll take Bama as well. Although I feel like this. I don't know. I feel like Bama might come out sluggish, which is crazy to say that they might be like in a little bit of a letdown spot after playing Vanderbilt. But they wanted to get last week so bad and having game day. I think this is actually a game into the second half, but I think Bama just has too much talent. So I'll take Bama.
Yeah, Ty Simpson's the best quarterback in the country. Probably going to win the Heisman, honestly, if things keep going the way they are for Alabama. I'm going to take Bama. I do think it goes in the second half, though, and I think Bama probably wins by 10 at the end of the day. But I think Bama will win this game.
Awesome. Well, hey, and if you're enjoying this on the pick'em level, put your thoughts and picks below, too. We can keep track of the shufflers and maybe highlight the top shufflers of the week. We get y'all's Tommy Tubervilles every reaction episode Monday morning. Maybe we get a top shuffler pick'em champion as well, too, and drop those. That'd be a lot of fun.
We should do a shuffler pick'em league next year through like CBS Sports or ESPN, whoever wants to pay us the most to use their pick'em.
That's
platform.
a great idea. I'm sure CBS and ESPN would
idea.
Definitely pay us to do that for sure.
Well, maybe Fox would. Maybe they could.
They already DM'd Clayton.
Yeah.
Somebody. Maybe Fox would,
text,
so they can get some true analysts on their side.
I'll text Joel. Look, man,
okay.
Joel Klatt slander has gone to. I listen to him regularly, and all he does is hype Tech. I just don't get the slander from the fan. Go listen to his show. He is just blazing us. Just highlights on his show. Like, he doesn't show highlights of our team. It's always Tech highlights. I'm telling you, the dude's a believer in the Red Raiders. I get the decal thing pissed some people off, but like, come on, get over it. If you're fine.
When we meet Joel on, because he's going to be in Lubbock on Saturday night, isn't he?
He's calling Illinois, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Oh,
our next game.
Over.
Funny enough,
Yeah.
that we're picking.
Well,
so I've got Ohio State there real quick.
I actually really do like Joel and have liked him for a long time. I didn't like that comment. I just like to poke fun at the bear at Brennan on this podcast, just for the listeners, for the content.
It's fair. It's fair. You get me wound up, man. All right, I've got Ohio State at Illinois. You guys doubling down on that as well?
Yes, I'll take Ohio State in a bloodbath. I think this is similar to the Indiana-Illinois game earlier this year.
I agree.
The second best quarterback in the league. Illinois. The second best quarterback in college football, Julian Sayin, not Sayin. Sorry, Sayin. That guy he's unbelievable, and I think he'll do what he's been doing all year. So I'll take Ohio State by 1 million.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got Indiana. You mentioned them. Indiana at Oregon. Dude, this is a 7-3 matchup in the AP poll, which is crazy. Indiana going at Oregon, though. Don't love that matchup. I've got Oregon pretty easily here.
I've got Oregon as well. I think Indiana might be able to hang with them in the first half, but Oregon just has too much talent, and Indiana is not super deep. So I think in the second half, Oregon pulls away.
Yeah, Conrad,
Oregon
with the
Oregon by 20 plus. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to the Big 12. 2 Big 12 games that really matter for Texas Tech this week. I mean, all of them matter, but in terms of common opponents, who you've got coming up, who you've played, BYU at Arizona. Bear going in with BYU undefeated at Arizona. Look, me personally, I'm rooting for the Cougars. I want them to be undefeated coming into Lubbock personally, because the way it's shaping up, I mentioned this last week, that could be the biggest game of the weekend, depending on BYU and Tech's record here in a few weeks. I'm going BYU at Arizona. Arizona is playing much better than they did last year. They're 4-1 this year, looking much better under Brent Brennan, but I still like the Cougars here in the physicality they bring. Give me the Cougars we'll go a touchdown.
I actually think Arizona pulls off the upset. I still don't know what BYU is. They might make me look stupid, but I feel like Arizona is slightly more tested, even if they lost one of their tough games against Iowa State. I think they win a close one by like 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'll take BYU here. I will say the one thing that really bothers me about BYU is how do you let your quarterback wear number 47? I mean, that it just doesn't work, and that really bothers me. But I do think BYU is a good football team. I think they beat Arizona.
Okay, we'll see, man. Well, Arizona State at Utah. We've seen what some road teams can do there in the Ute Stadium, but I like Utah at home. Arizona State, they've played well. I mean, they did beat Baylor in Waco. I think Utah's a much better environment, as we've seen on television if you've tuned in the Baylor games recently. So I like Utah, but this will be competitive. This is going to be a really fun game to watch because you'll kind of get a glimpse at how Arizona State plays Utah, having a common opponent going into the Arizona State game. Can't wait for this one, but give me the Utes.
I got Utah as well. I think they win by like 10. I think the environment is going to be crazy, and I feel like Arizona State has been a little fortunate to come out with wins in a couple of their games. I don't think that happens again.
If Cam Rising was playing, I'd pick Utah, but because he's not, I'm going to go with Arizona State and Sam Levitt to go into Utah and beat the Utes.
Okay. Yeah, Cam Rising. Where is Cam Rising? What is Cam Rising doing? Can someone put out an MIA? I don't know where Cam Rising is, but what's that guy doing? He's got to be working somewhere, right? We'll find him. I want to check.
He should come. What if he would come host the Broadway Shuffle with us?
What do you think Cam Rising would join? We should have had him on for Utah week. We'll find him. All right, let's get to the Texas Tech predictions. Game of the week for us, obviously, here, Broadway Shuffle. Look, I'll be honest about something. Each game I've picked for Texas Tech, I picked them every game, but I've picked the team to score more, even if it's by like 5 than they have. So, like, I think, Tech 38-17 against Houston. I'm going 41-20 Tech. I think you guys mentioned, I think Texas Tech's going to move the ball well, score fine. I do think Kansas is one of the better offenses that you have played this year. So I think getting to 20 for them is reasonable, but I expect Texas Tech to end up winning by 3 scores. So give me the Red Raiders 41-20 Saturday night in the Jones.
Yeah, I'm thinking very similarly to you. I got Tech 45-20. I think the offense moves the ball pretty easily, and their offense gets a couple on us. I think Henderson will get a long touchdown, but I don't think they have enough to sustain it for the full game.
52-14, Texas Tech, absolutely offensive clinic. David and Romello go absolutely crazy with 3 sacks total, 3 TFLs. I think it's going to be a party in the backfield on Saturday night in the Jones. Texas Tech will win 52-14, and we'll move up to probably 6th in the AP poll.
Okay, 6 in the AP poll.
Wow.
52-14. Look, I don't hate it. I mean, dude, there's been no reason to doubt that Texas Tech can go and crush opponents. We've won every game by 24 or more. I mean, why stop now? I'm going a little bit less at 21, but I still think it's going to be a dominant showing at home. So, okay, let's close with our Broadway Shuffle top 25 of the week. If you're new to the show and you've listened this long, once again, make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, follow on Spotify, and download the Texas Tech Plus app if you haven't already. You need it to get into the football game, so you might as well if you're going. But our top 25, week 7, we're not huge fans of the AP poll here. I think a lot of shufflers as well have said, hey, can you guys replace some of these voters on the AP poll? We'd love to, but that's why we release our own poll, and here it is on your screen. Number 1, we've got Oregon. I personally think Oregon's the best team in the country, and then Miami followed at number 2. We have Texas Tech, and I'll be honest here, I don't like where we went with this. But hey, that's what the model says, so that's what the model does. Texas Tech at 8, behind Texas A&M and Alabama. Thoughts on why did the model go there, Clayton?
I think A&M has actually. I think both these teams have a better win than Tech has, which is why I push them ahead of Tech. Even with Bama's loss, I feel like they've going to Georgia, beating them, and then beating Vanderbilt, who I think is a good team. And then A&M obviously beating Notre Dame. I think that's the reason why they're ahead of Tech right now. But Tech can easily, I mean, I would not think that this would be like a mismatch if Tech played. Maybe Bama with the talent, but like if we went up against A&M, I would not view that as like a mismatch or underdogs.
Yeah, I think Clayton, I'm going to push the narrative that Clayton is secretly an Aggie fan. The fake narrative that I've been a Texas fan. Yeah, I'm tired of people coming after me for unwarranted things. I renounced my Longhorn fanship a long time ago. I think I'm going to start pushing that narrative. I will say, I think we talked about it on our last episode. We would be favored. I think it was, what did Zyler tell us? 5.5 on a neutral field against A&M right now, based on analytics.
That's what
crazy.
he said.
Hey, don't question Zyler. I don't question Zyler.
I don't trust him.
When it comes to numbers, I don't question Zyler at all.
Yeah.
So
he's back there with his spreadsheet doing his thing, making sure that everything's right,
Yeah, and he's dang good at it, man. That guy, he goes above and beyond. So I'm fine with it. Clayton, I agree with you. A&M at Notre Dame, one of the best wins of the season. Alabama at Georgia, one of the best wins of the season. Texas Tech at Utah doesn't necessarily hold up that as much as the same water. Though we do have Utah slotted at 25. So we'll see some other Big 12 schools we got. We have Arizona State at 18, Iowa State 21, Cincinnati 22, Utah 25.
We also have BYU.
Oh, sorry, and I missed BYU at 15. So, there's the Big 12. This is where it is. Texas Tech has separated themselves as the class of the conference, but 15 through 23, really, I mean, it's hit or miss on any of those teams. Any of them could surprise us and be a top 10 team potentially, or they might turn out to be fraudulent and drop off towards the second half of the season. But it's fun to see a conference that has this much variability, I guess, this way, 5 games, 6 games into the season. I think it's great for the conference. You could make an argument the Big 12 is still the most fun, most competitive conference across college football right now. When you look at what the Big 10 and SEC are doing, I don't know. I'm a Big 12 homer, I know, but it's I think this conference is in a great spot 5 weeks in.
Yeah, and I think it is, and I think you've got quality football left on your schedule. Obviously, not as much as some other schools do, but you're going to play some good teams. I mean, Arizona State's going to be a good team. Kansas is not a terrible team. I think the Big 12 is in better shape than I honestly thought it would be. But kind of on brand, I do want to take us to the SEC for a second, if you guys are okay with that, because there's something I need to talk about openly for the public to hear. And I think it's the first time that we're ever going to do this, is award a midweek Tommy Tuberville of the week. Because it's something that, when you say certain things like what I'm about to read to you guys, you need to be recognized for it. And so I want to recognize a midweek Tommy Tuberville of the week is a sitting head coach for a school that you guys might recognize, the University of Texas at Austin. Steve Sarkisian addressed Texas's struggles and said this. I mean, take the other. How many other teams are there in college football? 136? Take the other 135 and have them go play at Ohio State and at the Swamp. See how they do. Sark. It doesn't matter what they would do because they didn't have to do it. You did it and you lost both of them and you thought you were going to be the best team in the country this year. Sark, my guy, don't say that. Like that's not a good thing. That's not a very professional answer. So you guys didn't know I was going to do this, but I'm going to award a Broadway Shuffle midweek Tommy of the Week to Steve Sarkisian and the University of Texas. I don't know, thoughts on that, pushback on that, disagreement on that? I mean, where are y'all's thoughts on it? I think Texas Tech will be 5-0 still with that schedule.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Dang, hey, good. I love the confidence, Conrad.
No, that's well deserved. He definitely deserved a midweek Tommy. That's just not what you want to hear out of a coach of an institution like Texas, who should be prideful, preseason number one, and going to the Swamp. I mean, it worked out pretty well for South Florida. So I don't know, maybe 134 of the other 135 teams it might not be good for, but worked out for the one other team that's done it.
That's a great point. Hey, and can I, speaking of South Florida, there's a game actually that's kind of funny. Shout out to former Texas Tech player Eric Morris. I don't know if anyone's paying attention to the Mean Green at North Texas, because why would you normally? But man, this guy, they're 5-0. South Florida's coming to Denton on Friday night. North Texas wins that game, dude. They might be a sleeper or potentially maybe a favorite to go to the playoff for the group of five. So, shout out to the UNT and Mean Green and former Red Raider Eric Morris doing great work there in Denton. That's going to be a fun game to watch as well. So we'll see. But Conrad, I don't know, man. I agree with you on what Stark said, but I feel like that's more of a, hey, they got people in the comments that are telling me to, start an SEC podcast, or Conrad likes along. That feels like you had to push that forward to slow down that narrative. Any of that to that, Tommy Tuberville?
Yeah, as honorary YouTubers and media members, we've learned very quickly about the art of media and how to portray certain narratives online. The professionals at it are impeccable at portraying the narratives that they want to be seen out there. And so I'm just trying to do my part and make sure that people see things like Clayton being an Aggie and me not being a Longhorn fan. I'm just trying to spin things a little bit to my advantage.
Hey, smart man.
Hey,
True.
if we're giving out midweek Tommies, I'm just going to go ahead and give one to any Big Ten coach that's complaining about the travel. I know for a fact that Lincoln Riley, James Franklin, Dan Lanning, Tom Izzo, Mick Cronin for sure have all complained about the travel to the media at some point. And I just want to say that, absolutely nobody forced you guys to join the Big Ten. Nobody else wanted this either. This was y'all's decision for money, so this is what you get.
You laid
have
your
to go
bed,
play
dude.
at Rutgers in a volleyball game on a Tuesday night.
Dude, excellent point, Clayton. I've literally always thought like this it's going to get to this point eventually where these guys are sitting on planes for 5 hours and switching time zones, and these kids are doing this, and it just gets exhausting. You see it like in baseball, for example, playing in Seattle, or playing in hockey, play in Vancouver, and you come to Dallas, or you go to LA, or you go to Florida. Like, professionals are paid a lot of money to do this, and they complain and they hate it. And now in college, we're asking these kids to go do this, and these coaches, I'm like, you were in a conference, bro, where you could play Washington, Oregon State, Oregon, USC, and stay on your side and not leave the Mountain or Pacific time zone. So these ADs, like, was this ever a consideration, or was it seriously just all money? We don't give a crap. We're just thankful for the billions or millions, and you guys can suffer on a plane ride.
It was all money motivated, but what doesn't make sense to me is, like, and again, no offense to sport. Do not hear me, for our listeners that are still here this far into the episode, do not hear me saying anything against sports that do not profit an institution, because I'm not. But at the same time, traveling like that and having that expenditure, if you're going to be from a financial standpoint, like, that just doesn't make sense either. Like, you're not taking the best interest of the student athlete to heart, but you're also not taking the best maybe financial thing as well. Like, that's just, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. And, people are already sick of it, but I think I will say, Clayton, I mean, nobody forced them to do it, but I don't know if it's the coaches as much as it is the ADs that are at fault there.
No, it for sure is. I mean, the coaches were not the ones that were the decision makers. I just feel like it's a little tone deaf. Like Oregon State and Washington State would kill to be in, having to travel cross country. But I agree with what you're saying. It's not there. It wasn't their decision.
Yeah, they'd also killed to be. They'd kill to be killed by Oregon again, just to play it. To actually have people play too. So
let's just. Hey, I just really hope that Mr. Campbell can help fix this as he's working so hard to do. So kudos to Cody.
Kudos to Cody. Well, man, cannot wait for Saturday night in the Jones. We will be back on Monday morning, as always, to react to the game, give you our thoughts on the weekend, look ahead. Apologies if you were expecting a player interview this week, just couldn't make it work with how busy it is, but we'll be back with that again on Monday morning too, so be on the lookout for that. If you're a regular shuffler, we appreciate you so much for being a part of our family. And if you're new, thanks. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends, and wreck them. We'll wreck Kansas. We'll see you guys Monday. Enjoy the weekend, your rest of the week. Have a great time watching college football. God bless, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Wreck them.
He makes the catch. He's going all the way. 20, 15.